My question is, how should we understand the nature of the mind? In his teachings on mind training, the Venerable Atisha said that the mind has no origin. This is how it is described. We cannot smell or touch this mind, but we can feel its presence. What is the true nature of the mind?
When we talk about the mind, if we examine it with wisdom, it cannot be found. But if we do not analyze, it still exists. In the Prajna Paramita Sutra, it is mentioned that the mind is without mind. The very nature of mind is luminosity. The mind is without mind means that the essence of mind is emptiness. The very nature of mind is luminosity, refers to its intrinsic nature. On the ultimate level, the mind is not established as arising or ceasing or any such characteristics. However, in the conventional world, everything we see and hear around us truly does exist. Only by relying on the pith instructions of a qualified teacher and practicing accordingly can we recognize the true nature of the mind. In such a setting, with so many students actually present, it is still, in fact, somewhat difficult to directly point out the nature of mind. No matter what, studying is still extremely important.
I heard about meditation can be do in anywhere, anytime, but the environment is too crowded. So what should we do in that environment?
In our daily lives, whatever we do, observing our own mind is the core of all meditation practices. When observing your own mind, whether you are having discursive thoughts or are in a condition without any thoughts at all, no matter what you are doing in daily life, observe what you are thinking and what you are doing. If you observe yourself like this regularly, you will have different experiences. As for the timing, morning, noon, or afternoon are all fine. Ideally, you should meditate 3 to 6 meditation sessions each day. If you can't manage that, don't stop practicing altogether. Arrange your practice according to your own schedule. Meditation is not that simple. It's not something that can be accomplished in just a day or two. In Tibet, even just practicing shamatha, calm abiding, requires a retreat of 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. For actual meditative practice, only then will a bit of meditative concentration gradually begin to arise.
I'm from Boston University. I think my question is, what is the difference between the meditation in Tibetan tradition and the meditation in Zen tradition?
Questions about meditation practice, for example, the contemplative practices of bodhicitta and compassion, as well as contemplation on impermanence, and also what we often refer to nowadays as yoga. So there are many different types of meditation. They can be divided into discriminative and non-discriminative meditation. Methods to let the mind settle, as I just mentioned, relying on the 9 stages of mental abiding to focus on a single object. By constantly observing your own mind, you can suppress and eliminate afflictions.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good afternoon, dear Khenpo. I'm a student from Columbia University. I began to get involved in believing Buddhism since I was 7 years old. And I've been haunted by a question that through meditation or study of Buddhism, how can we know that exactly how much power we could have to help others? So that we will not get frustrated when we help other people or we get depressed when we can't reach our goal. Thanks.
For those who possess a very strong altruistic mind, in the process of benefiting others, they may encounter certain difficulties. However, these difficulties will not become obstacles for them. For example, a businessman who wants to make a big deal. In order to achieve this goal, we will worry and work hard, diligently. But to him, these things are nothing. The most important thing is to make one's altruistic intention increasingly more powerful. If this intention reaches a certain level, then doing anything will not be very difficult or challenging at all. For example, whether it's dealing with lawsuits or being slandered by others, none of these issues will become obstacles for him. But if one's altruistic intention is insufficient, even small difficulties will still be hard to face.
Thanks.
Dear Khenpo, it's such a great honor to have you here to give us such a wonderful speech. My name is Jie, and my question is, as a college student, we have a really busy schedule. So do you have any suggestions for our college student how to balance our time to practice Buddhism and also study? Thank you.
In school, studying comes first, and if you can do some practice along the way, that's even better. Get up a bit earlier in the morning, go to bed a bit later at night. We can always make time if we try. It mainly depends on the strength of the mind. If you possess diligence, neither your practice nor your studies will be delayed. In my view, if you have faith and diligence, there will be no conflict or contradiction between the two.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Dear Khenpo, thank you for coming. My name is Jeannie, and I'm also from Columbia University, and I have a question that we all know that in the Western world, traditionally the Christianity is the dominant religion, and I actually know some Dharma teachers, they actually don't promote Buddhism as a religion. So I'm just wondering, like, what are your thoughts on how to engaging Western people to see Dharma as a religion or just a worldly Dharma, maybe just to, balance or improving their life, or maybe as a philosophy. Thank you.
My guru, His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche, once said, "The studies and research at our academy do not lean toward or favor any particular religious sect or tradition. Although I myself am a Buddhist, I can also study Christianity. I can even study other religions in the world as well. And knowledge in the important and ever-evolving field of science, I will also try to understand and learn about it. Personally, I believe there is no conflict between these religions. They all benefit humanity. No matter what religion you believe in, you don't need to change your religious beliefs at all. Simply, at the same time, you can study other religions as well. Maintaining a pure outlook, preserving the world's valuable cultural traditions, and benefiting humanity have all become responsibilities we can no longer shy away from."
Good afternoon, dear Khenpo. I just have a quick question. I know in Buddhism, we take refuges to Buddha, to Sangha, to Dharma, and we know, especially in Tibetan Buddhism, our teacher is very important. We should respect our teachers. But I just wonder, what happened if we saw Sangha did wrong, or we heard people talk about our teacher, say if he did something wrong? What's the best way to deal with those situations?
What is the best way for us to act now? The most important thing is to see who truly has reason and logic, whether people slander or praise. These things are not very important. What matters is being able to benefit humanity and being able to help our minds. Of course, it's important to act in a right and proper way. Carelessly commenting on others and pointing fingers at them is not the behavior of a wise person.
Thank you so much for your speech, Master. And I'm current Yale student, and my question will be very straightforward: is how to deal with remorse. Thank you.
Remorse is for the negative karma and bad deeds we have committed in the past. For example, after you have taken poison, you feel deep remorse in your heart. Only later do you realize that such poison should not be consumed, as it will cause great harm to your body. And then you develop the resolve never to take it again. This is true remorse. The Buddhist scriptures say that genuine remorse can purify negative karma.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for bringing the blessings to all of us. And my name's Kelly. I'm recently graduated from Yale. Now I'm working in the World Bank in DC. So my question is that sometimes from being a student to working as a young professionals, we always get lost sometimes, and we cannot find it, even though we walk, but we couldn't find the work that we're really passionate about. And so we try to work harder and to find what is really interests us. But sometimes we always get lost, and we could not feel that's the right one for us. So for this case, would you give us some suggestions how we deal with when we get lost, and should we continue or just give up until the right time comes, then everything will be fine?
Students at any university in the world after graduation, their biggest worry is finding a job. In my view, it seems that the United States is a bit better than other places. But when people first start job hunting, they immediately think about wanting a high salary and good benefits. But your goals shouldn't be set too high. You need to start from the bottom and work your way up. Gradually, over time, you will eventually find your own path and direction. Nowadays, many young people feel that they must secure a well-paying, high-paying job as soon as they graduate, with good benefits, a position that matches their major and many other requirements. But in reality, this is very difficult because every successful person in the world also worked their way up step by step. Even ordinary jobs can actually be quite challenging at the beginning. I believe that over time you will gradually find your own path and direction.
Thank you very much.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. So on behalf of Yale University, of the Yale Chaplain's Office and the Department of Religious Studies, I would like to sincerely thank Khenpo Sodargye for his very fine words, his lecture and advice to us all. I'd also like to thank our translators for helping out as well, and I hope that in the future we may have a connection to meet again, to have you to meet our community once again. So thank you very much.